gonna start either 5 minutes on the bike warming up, but it'd be preferable if you just move your body. You're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck. Start nice and simple, just opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders, your basic karaoke, right? Then we're gonna start paying attention to posture. This one's gonna be really important for you. You're gonna try and march without moving through your low back. So just nice and loose, arms and legs moving. We're gonna talk a lot and focus on posture a ton. From here, you're just gonna drop into a squat. Once again, paying attention to posture. So making sure that you don't round through your low back. You're really focused on sticking your butt back. So you can just keep alternating through these patterns, marching, skipping. You're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck and start to build some nice elasticity in your body, which you're not getting from swimming and from biking. So that elastic component, bouncing off the ground as everything feels good in the plantar fascia and Achilles, this is gonna be great stuff for you. From there, we can start to go and do karaoke and just moving those hips, twisting through that spine, start loosening up that low back a little bit. Okay, once we've done some sort of 5 minutes of warming up the body, we're gonna get on the ground and we're gonna start taking care of that thoracic spine. So the more you can move through your upper spine, the less your low back's gonna have to move. I'm gonna reach really long. I'm gonna elbow behind, reach and elbow. I'm just gonna find a nice rhythm and relaxation. I might lengthen my arm and start to open up onto the other side. So this is your 90-90 stretch, reach and elbow. 5 to 10 reps, and then open nice and long. 5 to 10 reps, okay? From there, you're gonna press your knee into your hand into your opposite knee. You're gonna work on extending your leg without letting your low back come off the ground. So you're only gonna bring your arm and leg as far as you can, keeping tension in your abs, no tension in your low back at this point. So we're being able to get into sprint mechanics, running without feeling anything in your low back, building some nice anterior core strength, all right? From there, we're gonna go right into some of your key stretches. You're gonna loop this up and over your butt cheek. Make sure you back up so you have enough tension. Connect the core, reach up, and then allow this to just pull you forward. Feel a nice stretch in the front of the hip. So this is your half kneeling banded hip distraction. And I would just set a timer and just spend a minute breathing, relaxing, hanging out, hitting both hips, all right? From there, you're gonna go into that world's greatest position. So now, I move this up higher on the groin. Hopefully you're attached to something that's nice and stable. And in this position, I really wanna breathe and just set the clock again, 30 seconds to a minute, really letting those hips open up, nice and relaxed. And the last one, you're gonna stand, you're just gonna fold over. If my left hip is banded, my right foot's forward, and I'm just trying to get some traction to pull that hip further back into the socket so we can start to be able to rotate and move through the hips and not move through your low back. So the key thing here is when we're on the bike or when we're skiing, that we can be moving through our hips. If we can't move through our hips and we start using our low back as the fulcrum point, that becomes overloaded. That's not how our body is designed. So the focus is gonna be around you being able to hinge and move through your hips and develop strength in those positions. From there, after we've opened up our hips, we're gonna activate our hips. So you're gonna go into this side lying position. You're just gonna hold this position. My heel is touching. I'm not letting my hips open up, so I'm rolling. If I had a pointer on this top hip, it's pointing straight ahead, not up to the sky. So I'm just holding this. I'm trying to wake up my glute. I should feel it in the back of my hip, not the front. We're gonna go 30 seconds each side, holding a clamshell. All right, 30 seconds each side. From there, you're gonna get upright. You're gonna throw the mini band on. And we're just gonna go into a squat. You're gonna hold this position. Most importantly, just get into a good athletic position, almost as if where I would be if I'm gonna start sprinting and and attacking up a hill, or if I'm in a good solid position skiing. So I don't care how low you go, just don't be flexed through your low back. You're just gonna hold this, trying to press the bands out, fire up your glutes. Once again, you should feel this in your glutes, not in your hip flexors on the front of your hip. From there, maybe shake it out. You're gonna go back into that squat. You're gonna shift onto one leg, and all you're gonna do is just have this other leg out. You can maybe tap the ground or just hold some tension, balance on one leg, really firing up that hip. And then you'll switch sides, firing up the other hip. Making sure you're not out of position. So right now I would spill a glass of water if it was on each shoulder. I want to be nice and stacked, nice clean lines going through the body. So that's some of your activation, starting with clamshells on the ground, some different mini band variations. From there, I want to go into a little bit more active movement through the hips. So your RDL, you're going to reach nice and long, straight lines, push up nice and tall. I'm squeezing my glute. I'm making sure I'm not rounded. So I'm reaching nice and long. I push, find that nice balanced position, reach long, pause, and push. You're going to get 8 to 10 reps each leg. From there, we're gonna get a little bit of lateral work. So we're just gonna shuffle, lateral lunge. As you shuffle, you're only going down as far as you can without rounding into your low back. So shuffle to the other side, shuffle. Nice and easy, butt back, back is flat, all right? We'll get into some of these dynamic stretches. The next thing we'll do is maybe open up bridge and focus on some big lifts. Deadlift is going to be pretty key. Right underneath your feet. So not in front of you, but right underneath your feet. You're going to slightly bend your knees, punch yourself in the abs, karate chop your hips back. From here, I'm making sure I have good posture, nice and easy, controlled. Don't let it touch at the bottom. Come on up. Really important that we can get strong in these positions like we would on the bike and we would skiing without sacrifice going into the low back, okay? So that strength is gonna help you protect and make you have better endurance longer, because now fatigue is not gonna set in as early. So please, let's make sure we get a nice warm up in. We're then gonna go through a bunch of mobility work, the banded mobility work, and then we will go into some hip hinging patterns, and then into some actual lifting. The other thing we should be doing almost daily is either hanging out in this nice deep squat position, opening up those ankles, or we're gonna do those knee drivers. You're gonna drive that knee and maybe just hold it out over the pinky toe, hold it straight ahead and inside. It's a great position to do work on. Just throw a hoodie underneath your knee, maybe get a nice pad, but really spend some time doing some knee drivers, both half kneeling and then standing. So you'd be pushing against a wall, and now I've crisscrossed my legs, and I'm hitting 3 different positions. So my knee is going inside, middle, and outside. So we have to really think about those ground reaction forces. That's the first thing, every single step that you're taking, that's gonna be interacting with the ground. We gotta open up the ankles. The easiest thing I would suggest to do that is on phone calls and at the desk when you're banging out some emails. That half kneeling position now starts to become working your ankle, but also opening up your hips.